A teacher, preacher, doctor, and political activist, I am Reverend Dr. Anna Howard Shaw. And although I was born in England, I was the only suffragist who lived here in Pennsylvania. I had been to Reading on my speaking tour, and I built a home in Media, Pennsylvania in 1903, where I lived until I died a year before the 19th Amendment was passed. It may be sad, but I knew that we were near our goal at that time. My early beginnings were in Michigan, as a child working hard as a seamstress and then as a teacher to help support our family. You see, my father worked for the abolitionist causes and big political movements of the day. I took up a preaching career despite the lack of support from my family and friends. I gave lectures on temperance and was preaching before I earned a theology degree at Boston University. There, among a class of 42 men, I was the only woman. And the men certainly let me know that they didn't want me there. Even though I had the top final exam score, I was refused ordination. But eventually, I was ordained in the Methodist Protestant Church at 24 years old. I continued my studies at Boston University in theology and became a physician at 39. During my education, I became an outspoken advocate for women's rights, and beginning with the Women's Christian Temperance Union. When I was 40, my attention shifted to the suffrage movement when I met Susan B. Anthony. She encouraged me to join her National Suffrage Association, and together she and I convinced Elizabeth Cady Stanton to merge Elizabeth's American Suffrage Association with our national, finally creating organized unity as NAWSA, the National Association of Women's Suffrage Association. And together, all of us were lobbying for a national constitutional amendment granting women the right to vote. I spent 11 years as NAWSA president. I took that organization from a membership of 17,000 to 200,000 members, with 10 speaking campaigns held every single year. In my 30 years of suffrage work, I gave over 15,000 speeches across the nation and even internationally. We all worked hard and long to achieve a goal that I failed to see while alive. But I had to thank Susan B. Anthony, who inspired me, and her niece, Lucy E. Anthony, who lived with me for 30 years while managing Susan's and my speaking engagements throughout the world. But by the early 1900s, Alice Paul and Lucy Burns began employing militant techniques like picketing the White House. I was unalterably opposed to the use of militancy. So in 1915, I resigned from being president of NAWSA. Although I did continue working for the suffrage cause the remaining years of my life. During World War I headed the Women's Commission of the Council of National Defense, and I was the first woman to earn the Distinguished Service Medal. I died at 72 in 1919, with the vote to finally be won the next year. I was proud to have helped win our right to vote.